Good morning, Renz. You know, I just feel like I could say, wow, it's quite a week, or it was quite 6 months, or it's quite a 28 years, wasn't it? But today is a day, and yesterday was one of the 13 days of Pakavotan. I think it was auspicious day number 5, and I think today is auspicious day number 6, and also a galactic activation portal. And then Friday will be galactic, no, will be auspicious day number 7 of the 13 auspicious days of the 260-day cycle, which began on March 25th. It's a lot to keep. It's a lot to keep track of, and somebody made it up or experienced it. I think most of the information that comes into the Mayan calendar arose out of the consciousness and the relationship with the universe of Paco Vatan, who was the prophet and the sage king and the time engineer. So he had lots of degrees of the Mayan people from the 603 to 683 AD. And a friend of mine pointed out that that was also the time period, the 600s, that Muhammad was alive as well. So Muhammad and Paco Votan were here at the same time, different locations. Okay, so because it's a galactic activation portal and an auspicious day, and I'm making a video, may as well do a healing field. And I also am kind of compelled to do a healing field as well. So if you'd like to participate, you might want to state these words out loud. I ground myself. No, don't say that. Say, I connect to my deep self. I connect to my higher self. I connect to my highest self. I ground myself to the healing center of the earth. I open myself to the healing power of the One. And I let go of anything not useful to me now. And I choose to work with the Hathors. I ask the higher self to take us through the portal of time to the event that would be of the highest good, release and integrate at this time. And I invite all souls affected by this event to return to the event, to release and integrate the energy of the event for themselves. And I ask that we all be placed in a field of protection while we do this work. And as upon arrival at the event, I ask the higher self to assist us to release and integrate all energies of the event, gently and easily, fully and completely, on all levels and through all space and time. So the healing field is set up, and if that's what you're here for is the healing field, then you can hit the pause button and come back later to complete the download of energies and the return of our combined soul. You don't want to leave your soul out there in space forever. Got to call it back at some point. So yesterday was a Red Earth Day. It was a really lovely day. A lot of really powerful things seemed to take place in my experience. And I had a very difficult night in the dream world where I was working with a friend, client of mine in the dream world, really helping to release and integrate a lot of energies that just were up to be released. And so that happened. which led me to spend 45 minutes this morning, early in the morning, um, doing breath and yoga postures, helping the body to further release some of those energy constrictions that showed up in the process of working in the dream world. And so here we are today in the Mayan calendar. It's White Mirror Day, which is the 18th of the 20 kins. And I'll start off with the white mirror. There's also a lunar tone, but I'll start off just talking about the white mirror. I think it's a really wonderful page of information in the Mayan calendar that I get from 13moon.com, and it's $33.33. At least it was when I bought it last year. Who knows? That's with shipping and handling. It's I think $25 with shipping and handling. It's $33.33, and I think it's been that way for year after year after year. So obviously they just keep making them and sending them out. Good people there at 13moon.com. Okay, so white mirror. And so white comes from the north, and it's a process of refining energies. And the white mirror relates to the solar plexus, and there's been a lot of awareness that I've had and others have had recently about the solar plexus as one of the places where energy seems to get stuck. And it's right in the area where the diaphragm is, the abdominal diaphragm, which is hooked into the psoas muscle. And the psoas muscle hooks into the diaphragm, forms the opening of the diaphragm, in which our um, uh, stomach, the esophagus comes up to the diaphragm, and the tube, the esophagus becomes the stomach, and that opening in which the esophagus goes through and becomes the stomach is affected by the psoas muscles, and the psoas muscles are related to the kidneys and to fight or flight. So that's why when we have frozen fight or flight, it's harder to breathe because the psoas muscles are in contraction, the diaphragm is in contraction. Sometimes the stomach gets pulled up through the diaphragm when we're stressed and causes symptoms of what's called a hiatal hernia. You can drink some water and bounce up and down, and that'll usually pull it back down again. But this whole fight or flight area is the lower ribs, the vertebra associated with the lower ribs, which are related to the kidneys, the adrenals, and the small intestine. And those are all related to fight or flight. And all the digestive organs are affected by fight or flight. So if we have a chronic pattern of being in fight or flight, we tend to not digest food well. And we tend to not digest emotions well. We tend to not digest experiences well. We tend to get more triggered more often. Just a little observation. So, white mirror, the three words that relate to white mirror, the white mirror kin, are reflex, endlessness, and order. And there's a quote by a Nai Nin, and they said, "We don't see things as they are, we see things as we are." So there's a lot of really wonderful content in these words coming up. So I'm going to say them slowly and just kind of ponder them as I speak about them, because kind of the meaning emerges as we digest the words and the meaning and we take it in. So as human beings, we hold many perceptions about ourselves, others, and the world around us. While it appears these viewpoints are founded on evidence and experience, all perceptions are actually reflecting the climate and contents of our own psyche. All perceptions are actually reflecting the climate and contents of our own psyche. As Jungian scholar Paul Levy shares, the universe is an ink blot. We are the source of meaning of this ink blot. The universe is very malleable, and the way that we interpret this universe has a creative potency on how this universe manifests. Maybe just digest that for a minute. In recognition that all perspectives are relative to the orientation of the viewer, white mirror allows all points of view their validity. Even in the face of seeming oppositions or contradicting beliefs, mirror understands all opinions to be subjectively true. Knowing within this holographic universe, there are no fixed absolutes. In essence, it is this endless diversity of reflections which composes the mysterious order of the whole, the many facets of the one. And I love the term the one. The one consciousness, the one source, the oneness of consciousness. White Mirror invites us delve into the source of reflection and polish the mirror of our mind that we may see from the deepest clarity we are capable of. In this way, all occurrences in our lives can be used to see ourselves more clearly as an ongoing meditation of self-reflection. An ongoing meditation of self-reflection. Ultimately, as we walk through the reflections, we can enter into the greater reality, the truth beyond the hall of mirrors, into the divine order which pervades all. This is a quote by Sufi mystic poet Rumi. We are the mirror as well as the face in it. We are tasting the taste this minute of eternity. Let's breathe that in. We are taking the taste, tasting the taste this minute of eternity. It's what eternity tastes like. We are pain and what cures pain. We are the sweet cold water and the jar that pours. So today is not only a white mirror, but today is also Lunar tone 6, which is the rhythmic tone. And the rhythmic tone has to do with organizing, balancing, and equalizing. And then there's another, I think, Sufi poet named Hazrat Inayat Khan. And he said that music is behind life. In the beginning was the tone. In the beginning was the sound, out of which creation arose. And creation is changed by the sound, by the vibration, by the tone. When the tone goes up, the form changes. Music is behind life and rules life. From music springs all life. The whole creation exists in rhythm. And in a general phrase, it may be said that there is one common source of human disease, and that is disorder in rhythm. And what can disrupt rhythm? What can disrupt rhythm is contraction, because the energy of the body is meant to flow. The breath is meant to flow. Flow in, flow out, flow in, flow out. The cerebrospinal fluid, which bathes and nourishes the brain stem, and the spinal cord, is inside of a sac called the meninges. So the brain stem, the spinal cord are all contained within a sac called the meninges, which is fluid filled, which protects it and nourishes it, bathes it. And that water that the cerebral spinal fluid is made out of needs to flow. And it moves based on expansion and contraction. So when your head, cranial bones expand, it creates a vacuum which draws the fluids up. And when it contracts, it forms a compression that pushes the fluids out. So the fluids are continually being brought up, brought back, brought up. It's all a rhythm. And the timing varies between people. If there's more cranial tension, the body needs the rhythm to go faster. to make sure enough fluid is moving. Same with the heart. When the person is all tight and tense, it takes more pressure from the heart to pump blood through the body. And so a person will get monitored and they'll be told, oh, you have high blood pressure. And I don't think that anybody very often suggests to a person, you need to get more exercise, you need to get out in nature, you need to relax. You need to come out of this state of contraction that is making it difficult for your heart to pump the blood. The more relaxed you are, the easier of a time it has of pumping that blood throughout the entire body. But that's not typically what they tell you, is go walk in nature. Spend time with people you feel safe with or feel loved by. No, they're told, we have a drug for that. Now, when medicine is controlled by pharmaceutical companies, the solution will be almost every time more drugs. And if you have a reaction to this drug, we have drugs for your reaction to that drug. The body wants rhythm. And you can feel it right now. There's a rhythm right now to the universe and to these words and to what's going on with you. By noticing the fluctuations of nature, we can receive the support of its cycles to enhance our endeavors. As we give attention to our personal rhythms, we can actualize deeper levels of organic balance, both physically and emotionally. A sense of balance can be achieved by accepting that life is a process, an ongoing motion requiring dynamic organization and reorganization, a sacred juggling act. When we organize the elements of our life, we invite efficiency and functionality into our reality. Organization assists us to streamline and coordinate, producing greater ease and equilibrium. May we respect the various aspects of maintenance as a foundation which supports the art of our life. Through the eyes of equality, all moments equally contribute to the sacred balance of our lives. We are reminded that this too shall pass, and this too shall return. May we see all beings in the light of equality, finding innovative ways to enact ever greater balance with the web of life. It's nice for me and for others I know when we pause and just feel appreciation for this gift of this life, for the gift of having a home, a body, for who we are as spirit to dwell in. And with that feeling of appreciation for this body, this feeling of love for this body and its rhythms and functions, the more we come into a state of love in all that we do, in all that we feel, in all that we think, in all the movements we make, when we do them from a place of love, it affects every aspect of our being. I highly recommend it, and it's becoming more and more of my state continuously. I find that the energy healing work that I do just becomes that much more effective when the disturbance I'm helping the client ground passes through love on the way into the earth. I think it was Crosby, Stills, and Nash, might have been, who wrote the song. It might have been titled Love the One You're With. This is the one you're with. And when you can love yourself in the midst of radical cosmic changes taking place on the planet, you will find it so much easier to love those others in your world, because they're just other yous. They're just other beings in bodies with different levels of awareness of their relationship to the cosmos, to the oneness, or their feeling of a need to separate from that and protect themselves from unresolved events of the past. So as we resolve those events of the past, we may come into a greater relationship with this larger cosmic consciousness. And when that flows through our central canal, our primal center, our neural network, we become more conscious of our connection with everything. It is becoming a nicer and nicer experience because more and more of that detoxing has taken place and is taking place to allow us to live in a more clarified energetic. The more we clear, the more clear the field is, the more we get to live in that clear field. Okay, the last part of this video will be the completion of the healing field. So I ask all the souls that return to the event to combine with that part of their soul that had remained at the event and bring that combined soul into the body in present time with all of its wisdom, power, and clarity, its compassion, its curiosity, and its kindness. And with joy and love, I ask all the souls to ground themselves into the healing center of the earth and open up the portal for the delivery of the new energies that we agreed to bring into the earth at this time. And I ask that those new energies to uplift the planet and all the sentient beings on it be brought in now. And I ask that these new energies be activated, and I'll let the universe and beyond know that this has been done and that it's good. I'm so pleased to be back in the saddle again. I'm so pleased to be back making videos more often because I feel it's the right thing to do, and there was a time when it was right to take a break. but I notice how much easier it is for me to integrate the experiences I have throughout my day when I start off my day working with a healing field and clearing an old event and bringing in new energies into the earth. So I hope it's working well for you as well. And I appreciate all you're doing to clean the mirror of the self so that what we reflect is a clearer picture. All right. Be well and know that we're part of something very large. And so when you keep your consciousness aware that you're part of something very large, there'll be all the space you need for you. All right. Now let's go.